bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
Recorded in you, forever, on ferrotape.
On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising, rising, above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time, the last time, the smoke in her mouth, the plotted flowers, the faces turning, changing.
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit.
All stuck on loop, whirling, spitting out words and images.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers. Collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless, meaningless keepsakes.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the money, baby.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth. There he goes again. He's a real political animal, our Harry. He still doesn't see that it's the world changing around him.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
'Cause only love can break your heart. Beep, beep, beep! The alarm is ringing, Harry! The disco circus goes on and on! You barely slept 3 hours last night!
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the city. Go. Do it for the wind. Hey, Moneymouth. Ian Drack, the impeccable hustler provider of the 7th generation. It's showtime. with savvy. Yes, Swindle Father, Papa Penier. Look, this is serious. No time for distractions. It's time to make money. Lots of it. No, you don't. You just keep muttering about your economic self-interest and not doing anything about it. Yeah, I heard you back there. What the hell was that? Superstar talk? Good one, hustler. Gotta keep the dream alive. But it's not really showing up in your net worth yet, is it? And it's what? Day 2, 3, 4? Listen, if you really want to make it in the big leagues, you need to reconceptualize your entire portfolio. Collecting tear and moaning about taxes is not going to cut it. You need to become a millionaire. Now, how do you become a millionaire? It should be the other way around. Old mitered money showing up at your doorstep, begging for a slice of cake. Not unless you have thousands of them stuffed away in secret. Those guys, they're all financially illiterate. Only savvy here knows how to dazzle and embezzle money out of investors' pockets with the acrobatic prowess of a 4-time gold medalist in the Samaran Gymnastics Summer Games. You could force a coin inside you. Any hole will do. Not many more definitive tests of a man's mettle than the fortune yawn. Of course you don't. You've never even been close to a sum with more than 3 zeros. Let's face it, you've been on a years-long losing streak. But Savvy's got your back. Savvy's going to book you a charter flight with 80 birds of prey on board, to a land where the streets are paved with Krugerrands and fixed income securities. You'll try again, but this time with money. You'll win her back. Are you in? The spirit of ultra-liberalism, your charm, your spin, your winning hand. Attaboy, welcome to the final grind. Here we operate with money on a much higher level than the ordinary citizen. We feed it back into the machine. Stop saving. Start spending. Become a patron. Let's start by getting you into the lucrative art market to diversify your assets and increase your ROI. Speaking of which, know any artists? Once we've brought in the millions, you can be a tree log for all I care. But first, we've got to work on increasing your net worth. Music is a pet project, not a viable business scheme. Let's return to it once you've set up your estate. He's also 12. We don't want to attract the attention of tax collectors by dabbling in unnecessary child labor. That child's a common delinquent, not an artist. He probably can't even hold a paintbrush. You're right. She has the poise of a struggling artist. Very tangible. You can feel the poverty on her. Plus, she has paint. Go and support her like the state never could. Everyone must know that you're a big fucking shark around here. There, on that balcony. Do you see it? Straight into a bull ring with no prep talk? No. It's your first sales negotiation. Savvy's got to give you the do's and don'ts. That's a pathetic-looking bull. Where are the sharpened horns ready to puncture your gristle? There's no real danger here. Artistos are known to repel wealth. It bounces off their skin like rubber. The moment a reasonable business proposal enters their periphery, they go and get political. Nonsense. No one repels wealth. The businessmen just don't know how to entice them. What you need to do is lure them in with a strong one-liner. Get them on your side before you've even finished the sentence. Show us what you've got. Pretend you're facing the skull girl. Boring. Yawning my jaw off here. Next. What is this? A dating agency? Are you looking for a pretty young thing to sponsor? Never mix business and pleasure. Never. Counterpoint. What if pleasure is your business? Gigolos make bank and get that wet. It's never too late to change careers. Holy moly. Are we being arrested here? Only tax inspectors and debt collectors speak like that. You don't want to start your business relationship with the wrong vibe. Mamma mia, if this isn't the top seller in La Delta. Everyone knew you'd eventually get it right. It's a decent start, but you might need to change strategies down the line. Okay then, off you go. Let's see what you've got.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? What's that? The piggy's looking to get into the art market with a snappy business pitch. Watch out, or you'll be auctioned off and face the chop.
The lieutenant straightens his back, waiting to see where this is going. Relax. It's all part of her image. No one speaks to a police officer in that tone. Show the little missy here her place. She stares at you, fearlessly, waiting for a response.
This little persona will grind you into a sausage if you don't stop. I'm not a sellout. The whole point of graffitio being on the street is so everyone can see it. No charge, expression for all.
There has to be a way to convince her. Everyone has a price. I bet it's all about the scene for her. Tell her you can introduce her to some artsy jet-setters in Saint-Baptiste. Maybe do some lines together in the powder room.
I don't have a price. If I wanted to whore myself out, I'd go to Porto Rosa. Or better yet, I'd take you with me and pimp you out to some friends of mine. They'd be delighted to get their hands on a squealing pink thing like you. Cut off your ears. Make some pig soup out of them. Now sod off. You've got nothing to offer that would make me change my mind.
Perfect. She isn't interested. All the more reason to move on from this little side task.
Your partner here gets it. Anything else I can not do for you, gentlemen?
Sure, she's all draped up in ironic detachment, but everyone's gotta eat.
Great. A little foray into the art world continues.
His words are hiding a tinge of excitement. He's not so detached from your pursuits, after all.
Blah, blah. I already told you. I'm not for sale, piggo.
Told you these artist types repel wealth. Turn it around. It's the seller who wields the power in this relationship.
Uh-oh, you're manipulating me. I do like a chance to rip off some stupid pigos. And I need a pack of cigarettes. And some paint. Okay, whatever, Piggy. Time to leech off each other like the parasites we are. Let me see what I've got.
Even the lieutenant leans closer to inspect the work.
Here. Happy?
Remember, this is a buyer's market. You're the one who's in charge of pricing. She juts out her hand, letting you examine the piece. 3 red splotches have been shot at a diagonal across the surface. Tinier spots of various colors fan out from the same point of origin.
Well, Piggo, what do you make of it?
It looks like a palette, nothing more than a board for mixing paint. It's one of those ink blot tests, an invitation to connect with the divine.
It's a sign. Better pay up, or you'll anger the terrible beast from... What did you say? The threshold. Careful now. I heard it has a soft spot for smoked pork. Signature? Oh yeah, pigster. I sneezed while holding a wet brush. Paint flecked onto the canvas, and voila! You don't get more signature than that. Art issue. 67,000 real. And your head on a silver tray.
Remember, this isn't about the art or the artist. This needless purchase implies your excessive wealth. Art comes across as more tasteful than simply hanging cash on the wall. Lowball her, the wretched are used to rolling with the punches.
That it? All right. It all helps.
Splendid. Your first physical asset. But no time to stop. Money grows old unless it keeps moving. You need to find a buyer, preferably someone who will pay a high price for such an exclusive piece from a local artist. Nah, she'd probably send the entire Wild Pines legal team after you if she knew you were trading goods around their harbor. She's ready and poised for a hostile takeover. And become a small-time art peddler? No, think bigger. Doing business with communist dictatorships only works if you've got long-term plans in place, which you don't. There must be someone around here with heavy pockets and an interest in the local art. Tell you what, have a wander around and I'll let you know if I hear any wealth. Yes, if you know what to listen for. That's what happens when you've been in the game for as long as I have. Your senses get tuned in to more opportune frequencies. I got some vibes from that container you moved with the crane in the harbor. Let's see what's inside. There isn't a door yet that Savvy's VIP status couldn't open.
Look at us. Coming to an agreement. Who'd have thought? Anything else you want? I'm in a good mood, but it won't last long.
before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric? That's a very good question, considering you have Savvy around. The ultimate VIP.
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not... Step aside, rank and file. Savvy's at the top of the VIP list here. That's right, out of the way. Whoa, watch it. How'd he get in front? Little slime ball. Thank you, thank you. Now, are you ready? It's time to make our entrance. At first, your knock rings hollow on the door. And then, just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
Ahoy! Come on in!
You can't be serious.
Stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say anything more about him. You cannot make out any of his details, but you do feel the overwhelming presence of capital. The feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand at attention, like soldiers preparing for review. Something's amiss. The light beams bend around his face and scatter in 1,000 directions. It seems the laws of physics do not apply here. They are suspended, distorted, and echo. Trying to visualize the physics at play is liable to give you an aneurysm. Don't think about it too hard. In the general stillness, only your tongue moves, flickering as you utter.
Welcome. Savvy, was it? Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you. I wasn't expecting visitors today.
You can't hear him exactly, yet you're able to understand every word he says. It is very strange. An overwhelming hum covers everything. Voice doesn't escape from him.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen? Who am I? Oh, I haven't been asked that question for such a long time. I don't meet a lot of people outside my circle these days. Anyhow, my name is Rustam Teodore, investor, license holder, an extremely high net worth individual. And your name is Savvy, right?
We've hit the big time. This is the man who's going to make you rich. Always rely on your friendly neighborhood swindler.
Mr. Theodore, I think there's been some confusion. His name is in fact not Savvy. Let's start over. I am Lieutenant Kim Kisoragi of the RCM, and this is my partner.
Pleasure to meet you, Harrier Dubois. I must admit, the name suits you very well. Traveling. This is a great way to get around. It's fun, it's safe, and it gives me lots of time to think. By the way, let me now ask you a question. Where are we exactly? special. I remember walking its streets as a teenager. There used to be a bowling alley in Stella Maris. I wonder if it's still there. It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money. Smart, no? It also provides a means to hide from all the targeted advertising we extremely high net worth individuals are constantly subjected to. Luxury yachts, high fidelity portable radio systems, bail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit middle class after a while. A bit bourgeois. What? No, I didn't say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't tell anyone I told you that.
Oh Lord, not this again. Oh, nothing. It's just that we've got this murder to solve, and yet you go around asking everyone about money. And every time I ask, are you sure this is related to the case, you say, sure, Kim, I think it is. And yet, it never seems to get us any closer to solving the case.
It's quite alright. I'm used to the question by now. To be blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who herself was an extremely high net worth individual back in Grad. All I did was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy.
And blow.
I gotta tell you, at first, being rich is a lot of work. You've got to work hard because everything's so darn expensive. You know, prices increase exponentially at this income level. But then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. My assets are so diversified that I'm bound to come out ahead no matter what. Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, but doesn't that take all the fun out of it? And I tell them, not really. Precisely, Mr. Dubois. You know, I hear people talk sometimes about economic equality and fairness, but tell me, where would we be without liberalism? In caves, whacking each other with bones. Exactly. A world of slavery and violence, which brings us back to the essential truth of modernism. Where we are right now, the freedom of mankind can only be derived from the free flow of capital. It is truly, it's almost entirely carefree. It really leaves you time to better yourself spiritually.
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What is going on with the light in this place? That's what you need to ask him about.
What do you mean? Are you talking about my chin? Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, I've heard of this effect, though I've never witnessed it myself, of course. It has something to do with our Weisswiesemann coefficient. It's some statistical thing. In essence, it says that when an extremely low net worth individual needs an extremely high net worth individual some of the laws of physics sees to apply. Among other things. But calm down. I am but a lowly single-digit billionaire. That's good.
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who is unusually well dressed for Martinez, in a cargo container, which I admit is odd.
Yes, I imagine that does look strange to you, my container. There it is. I knew it as soon as you did the Milton 33-8 note. A fellow entrepreneur. The art market, you say? Sure, hit me with it, as they say. I'm keen to hear what you have in mind. A painter? I'm always looking to expand into new asset classes. Who's the artist? Aha! And the name of the piece?
There's no sign of a reaction for a good 3 seconds. Then,
Wonderful things, aren't they? Names. They can completely change your reading of a person, or in this case, a painting. Before I invest, I need to know more about the work. How do I know this asset is going to appreciate with time?
this is the only question that matters. Fail to come up with an interesting hook, and he's out. The comfortably wealthy want their views challenged when making a purchase. Don't hold back.
I see. I'll be honest. All I see are splutters that lack any true intention.
Why are you letting this opportunity slip away? Give him a story, an experience. Make him want to run away with this painting and marry it in secret.
Please, if there's something I'm missing, I'd love to know what it is. That's a word with plenty of appeal. What is it that defines this style exactly?
Just tell him the truth. Why does no one ever want to tell the truth? Now is the time to champion the power of the sinuses.
Very good. What kinds of issues are we talking about? I've really got into the housing crisis recently. it now. Very graphic, isn't it? Really delivers insight into what it's like being that unruly.
That's it. Lap it up, buddy. That might have done it.
Well, I think that settles it. You found a buyer, my friend. A pleasure transacting with you. However, there are a few complications. I don't have the cash on me right now to pay for art of this caliber. What I can instead offer are shares in Mauer Koslay Mercury Group.
Shares. That's even better. You can do a lot with them if you play your cards right.
I bought these shares many years ago for a steal. As predicted, Mauer Koslay Mercury's operating profit has increased year on year, and there is no signs of it slowing down. People always need Mercury. Which means you could net yourself a considerable profit if you need some immediate liquidity. But if you don't mind waiting, I expect the value of these shares to double within the next 5 years.
Yes, but chances are you can't use them to buy anything right now. No cigarettes, no alcohol, no funky little colorful pills.
Not a problem. The offer stands for as long as I'm around these parts. Why go so soon? I feel with so much more. Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do for you? They could set you up for a long time. Mauer Koslay Mercury is just getting started. Mark my words. Splendid.
It looks almost ethereal. Is it even real?
This is a stock certificate. Well, a photocopy of one. Nevertheless, it's solid proof that you own shares in Mauer Koslay Mercury Group.
The light around the individual in front of you changes somehow as you take the scroll. You can't figure out what's different. You just know that it is. Something's rattling within you. It feels like the first penny dropped into a piggy bank. This transaction has changed the physical relationship between you. You are now more alike somehow.
That concludes our part of the transaction. Once you've turned over the asset, my people will get the legal ball rolling. Another deal complete. Welcome to the big leagues. If you haven't already, I'd advise you to consider hiring a personal brand strategist. What don't they do? They practically do everything, from spotting good investments and analyzing design trends to booking a lunchtime table at the prestigious Landrosee. Unfortunately not. I only know the ones who work with multi-millionaires and beyond. But take a look around, and I'm sure you'll find one. Personal brand strategists are attracted to money like sharks to blood. You'll find having net worth opens many new doors for you.
Here's an avant-garde proposal. What about idiot Doom Spiral? He used to hustle and hang out with the sales hawks and trend pushers of the marketing world. Let's ask him if he knows any personal brand strategists. Oh, and we should see what this net worth can do. Might score a discount, or better yet, get you some free goods. That's the kind of thing that really makes you feel like a hotshot. Ask the local merchants about it if you get the chance.
So, what's next on the agenda?
The pearlescent paper adamantly resists being held open. It demands struggle at both ends. The print inside is just as taxing, due to its fine and curlicue font. The most attractive part is the image emblazoned across the top. Inside an oval frame is a grey sketch of a curly-haired girl enthusiastically riding an industrial drill. It's churning up hard chunks of rocky ground and scattering them into the air. In the hole created beneath is a silvery river of liquid metal. Her form is terrible. She needs to straighten her back and increase the downward pressure on that machine. Has no one taught her about ergonomics? Inside an oval frame is a grey sketch of a curly-haired girl enthusiastically riding an industrial drill. It's churning up hard chunks of rocky ground and scattering them into the air. In the hole created beneath is a silvery river of liquid metal. Her form is terrible. She needs to straighten her back and increase the downward pressure on that machine. Each letter is shaped like a laugh line, being pulled in a million different directions. They're all grinning at you, pleased with practically being indecipherable. You can do this. Maybe squinting will help. Your vision blurs into a haze of dark scribbles. It's like looking at a wrought iron fence through a greasy lens. Not a single recognizable symbol appears to you. That really didn't help, did it? How about opening your eyes as wide as possible? The scroll across the paper opens wide, its many grins, back at you. A mess of mouths ready to swallow you up. Intertwined and interflowing, impenetrably. Your eyes begin to water. Okay. Enough of that. It's starting to sting. Better try another approach. A bold black mesh curves around the oval image at the top of the document. It almost looks as if it were penned with intention. Perhaps it was. You're starting to think it might actually say something. If it does, it remains hidden from you. All you see is a baffling enigma, a coiled nest of viper letters, if they even are letters. There must be some form of logic hidden away in there. The certificate threatens to coil back into itself as you relax a little.
Could you please stop asking people for money? It does not reflect well on the RCM, and to be perfectly frank, we can't afford to look worse than we already do.
It's perfectly alright. Based on your appearance, I can tell I'm dealing with a smart man. As you may know, us high net worth individuals don't have a lot of cash on hand. Investments and liquidity are enemies of one another. I think I only have coins for coffee machines. Here is 3 real. How much can you get for this?
Unbelievable. You managed to meet a man who's so rich, light literally bends around him, and all you can get out of him is 3 real? What's wrong with you?
Yes, I'm sure. You know, maybe you can make that money grow. Come up with an investment plan. How's that sound?
These ultra-liberal types love losing huge sums of money on ludicrous proposals. Ergo, you should come up with a plan that's totally dead in the water. If business planning were really your strong suit, you probably wouldn't be a cop.
Go on. I'm ready.
Nicking an idea that wasn't worth anything in the first place and trying to pass it off as your own? How very entrepreneurial.
Hold on. Have we met before? No, on second thought, it couldn't have been you. Your idea reminds me of a group of young men who came to me a long time ago, calling themselves Fortress Accident. The name should have been a red flag. They pitched me and a handful of other investors on an idea for a role-playing game that would, in their words, change the world. Well, at first everything was rosy. The ideas were solid, but they were lacking in... how do I put it? They lacked the will to get things done. As their financial situation became more desperate, their ideas devolved from realistic to absolute insanity. We lost all of our money. High archetypes never deliver. They're only good for peddling Welkins or whatever creeps they come up with.
I guess the inordinate amount of time they put into drawing mythical creatures did not generate a return on investment.
Nobody knows for sure, but the place can't be pretty. Sadly, when we got there, it was too late. The concept had run out of steam. Only dust remained. What I want to tell you is this. It's a very bad idea. Dead in the water. You seem like a reasonable man, but that is not a reasonable plan.
Okay, well, maybe I was wrong. We've all learned something today.
You're welcome. Now, was there something else I could help you with? It was a real pleasure. Sadly though, my current lifestyle prevents me from remaining more than a brief time in any one place. Perhaps we'll meet again, somewhere far away. Farewell, friend, and may your peace of mind guide you to happiness.
Tequila sunset.
Things have really turned around for you, haven't they? You've got big money problems now. Don't be shy, Tequila. Of course I'll do it. I'm your man. Your personal brand strategist, man. Now, I know I'm not your typical choice. I don't wear a suit, I'm not 100 years old, I'm not about to die tomorrow.
Not so sure about the last part, with all that drinking.
But I've got something the others don't. I'm on your level. And as I already understand your needs, I can marry my high-concept ideas with your brand easily. I'll help you make your mark.
Great can-do attitude, a billion real mindset, clinically insane energy. Hire him on the spot.
No, Tequila, no. I'm a professional, you see? I insist that you give me a formal interview. It wouldn't be fair on the other candidates if you didn't. What do you need to know?
What you truly want to know is, can you really trust your entire fortune to a drunk who lost his house keys while out for a jog?
Tequila, Tequila. Whatever's going on in my reality situation doesn't have any bearings on yours. This is all about you and your future. Ask me about that. I used to be a moderately high net worth individual myself, if I can say so. I've managed big money before, played the game, hustled the movers of the marketing world.
A subtle smile lights up his puffy face, like a ray of sun breaking through the stratosphere.
At the Boom Boom Room, I directed a team of talent architects. People so high concept their names were nothing but a single letter. We had manic ideas, fueled by copious amounts of coffee-flavored whey powder. We did stuff no one had ever seen before, or since. Remember when Maria Capoleva caused an uproar by walking the red carpet in those slippers? The ones with the stick-on jiggly tits?
No, we don't. But why don't we remember that?
That was me. I did that. We sold a lot of slippers that year. Drinking is the fuel to my fire. Moistens me up to ensure the high concepts have a smooth landing. Ah, shit.
He could definitely work more on his hand-eye coordination.
Okay. Let me get a sip first. You see, net worth means nothing to the people of Martinez. Nada. Null. For them to see your wealth, to really respect that, you need to convert it into something real, something tangible. The bigger the better. The Horseback Monument! That's the center of the district. They'd have to pay attention to that. We could get your name up there in lights. Damn thing's due for a reconceptualization anyway.
You're aware that monument is supposed to look like it's exploding. It doesn't need renovating.
I didn't say renovating. I said reconceptualization. It's medium concept shit is what it is.
But what would it cost?
Nothing up front. That's because I always put the client first. My cut'll come out of the back end, after we've made you a sensation.
We really haven't got time for this. In case you've forgotten, we are supposed to be investigating a murder.
And forget about contractors and the like. This job I'm handling personally. Concept and execution. Any unexpected expenses we'll take care of later. Can't let price compromise the work. Easy. Sure, my man. Let's circle back whenever you want. Take your time. I'll be here. Right on. That's it. I'm back. Sorry about that, my friend. This isn't about me. This is about you. Of course. A chance for you to give back to the community, to get your brand out there, to teach them your name. I can already see it. Tequila sunset, spelled out in cathode rays, luminous against the evening sky. There won't be a single kid in this town who doesn't know who you are.
This is a good moment to bring up his drinking. He'll get nothing done if he continues like that.
Whoa there!
Yeah, whoa there. What is this? The fun police?
No need to worry about that. I've got it all under control. Besides, it helps with my creativity. Gets the business juices flowing, you know? Exactly! We're partners, you and I. Partners in drinking, partners in business. Give me half an hour, my friend. In fact, I demand you to sit down here and not move until I'm back. Open a beer. Chat with your old pals.
The lieutenant massages his temples and looks down at the ground. There is little time for this.
Relax. I see you both running around like maniacs, just back and forth, back and forth. Gotta live a little. Enjoy the day.
He turns his swollen face against the wind, freezing rain battering his cheeks.
Exactly. Just give me a minute or two.
Before you know it, the man has put down the bottle, stood up, and left. Minutes pass. The clouds change shape up in the sky. You chat a bit with old Rosemary. Then, try to strike up a conversation with Don't Call Abigail about something other than Abigail. The lieutenant sits silent the entire time, preferring to focus on his notebook. Clearly, we have better things to do than sit down and chat with a bunch of drunks. After what feels like ages, you hear the fence creaking as if under a large weight. Look at him. Just look at him. It's idiot Doomspyro. He's back, like a beast made of jaundice and fetid polypropylene. He returns locked in stiff combat with a most fearsome foe.
I know. Ran into some problems there. Material shortages and the like. But don't worry. Genius thrives under constraints. That's why you pay for the best.
He seems even more drunk than before.
Of course I am. When you're ready, and I don't think you ever will be, just head on over to the Horseback Monument. You'll see. World's gonna know about you, me, and the shiny numbers in our bank account.
The lieutenant closes his notebook and nods at you.
But if there's anything else your old friend can do for you, let me know.
monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. It is surrounded by scaffolding that has been haphazardly erected around it. A matrix of metal tubes and wooden planks jut out at odd angles. A miserable tarpaulin covers up the horse and rider, flapping in the cold coastal air. There are no lights that spell out your name. No workers with calloused hands leering from above. Just construction materials displayed as if to mourn your misplaced dreams. That son of a bitch scammed you, probably to make fun of you. This is not what that personal brand strategist of yours promised. No one even knows that you're paying for this reconceptualization. Go and have a word with him. Find a silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "Not a good track record of mental health in that family."
Tequila sunset.
No one does it better than me, eh? I was able to get it all together, and so fast, too. No wonder I used to be an industry leader. Listen, I can feel it in my guts. A bright future awaits you. The one and only Tequila Sunset. You're already building great brand equity. No doubt the profits will come rolling in shortly. Of course not. Your trademark will be all over it as soon as the workers can get to it. The strike's holding them up. Not much I can do about that. I guarantee the papers will pick it up once it's all finished. With photos and everything. You'll be the talk of the town. Investing into the community, creating value, giving back. Don't spend a single brain cell worrying about it. Just leave it all to me. The final outcome will be spectacular. Just takes a little time. Anything else?
You see, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first. Indeed, somehow you knew it was here, an urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light. You felt it before when it rained in Martinez, and you felt the cold of the rain. The feeling persists.
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there. Or in that boat shack. In that church tower, maybe.
Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead. No rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb.
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography, at least. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village.
Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen did not, and now you're just standing there in the pale of the morning, with your hands fallen to your side. A prayer of sorts to Revachol.
Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. An adventure awaits. An adventure on the windswept urban coast. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it. In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
She's down there.
Okay, why? So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails. An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the felled building? A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access. Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder. The pipe is sleek with rain. As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the... and nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around...
Oh, duh. Why didn't you think of that? The lieutenant's face lights up. He doesn't usually notice these little things.
And it's right here, a maintenance door.
It's jammed shut. The subtle approach isn't going to work on this one. Oh yeah, big boy time. This needs you to put your back into it. The metal doors are heavy, and the flaking rust hurts your palms. But, together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
Good work. Shall we? Yes?
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components. Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system. The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know.
So it is. I think it is used to form a single system, slotted in the wall. The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You will be disappointed.
All you will find here is pain. This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory. Kraz Mazov would have worn this Yushenka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains stick into the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. You mean like Rubi? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. No, but you are the sensitive one.
He trusts your gut feeling on this.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but... yes, there won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but...
If you must.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
Let's try not to worry, he thinks.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. She doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to. She doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to your ear canals. Wait, no, not even your ear canals. This is going directly into your neural pathways. No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience, way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Really now? Check this out.
You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
Blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at.
You should probably check on Kim. That's what good partners do.
Right behind you, officer.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break loose.
The Pale? It's the end of the world. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. I built it myself.
And she's proud of it too, as she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond. No, once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream. Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it. If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
On nitrous. Dentist.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find for my back. I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now.
It was dark in the shack. The waves outside had calmed down. She looked at the loaded gun, then she cracked the barrel open and took the bullet out. Not today.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you.
So she says she didn't do it, and she doesn't trust you. Is it you specifically, or the citizens' militia that she distrusts?
Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Titus and his boys, man. They told us you were on the coast.
Even now, Kim is a paragon of professionalism. He is trying to make a clean cut of telling her she was betrayed.
Well, fuck. Those guys liked me, I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like...
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
How the fuck do the rest of you get by? Like what? I already told you I didn't do it. I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. Yeah, sure. And I didn't like wild pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here. Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do. I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me. You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time. Wow, now I'm curious. Please, explain. Don't know it, but also, the shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
That didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her.
And? No, they're not practical. Break too often. Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No. The gun store. Trigger Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal. Yeah, evidence. Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival. The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. Along with Claudia. Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, as I said before, the shot had to have come from afar. So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician. Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking? Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the union.
You good?
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used for self-defense against serious scum.
There, it's going to be easier to reach the machine now.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum.
There's a sinister note in her voice. Even with the gun and the compressor, she's afraid of
Yeah? Where?
you. More questions before doing anything.
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity. She's refusing to adopt the demeanor of a cornered animal, a leader with no one to lead. She still wants to retain some control of the situation.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
This woman has seen people OD. Glacia wasn't quite there yet, so why run?
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
She looks shaken. She wasn't surprised to be ratted out, but framed.
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy boys.
Glacia knew exactly what she was doing. You can't remain calm under pressure otherwise.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going... fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it. Problem solving.
Ma'am, put the gun down. That's not the solution to your problems. You are...
Oh, yes it is.
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself. So why is it not coming to you? Because you've misread the situation from the beginning, and now her finger squeezes the trigger. A smirk crosses her face as she watches you stand there, mute. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head, and pulls the trigger. You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
Fuck.
Get a hold of yourself. He needs your support now, too.
Our job. It went really bad. And now we need to clean it up. Lieutenant Yefreitor Dubois, control your emotions. We did our job. This won't be the worst thing that happens on this case, believe me. You can't let this break you.
There is no coming back from this one. It will stay with you in nightmares.
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent there.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She was used to camping out. You see a rolled-up sleeping bag and personal belongings.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't get to her.
The lieutenant nods. There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, books, and half-read magazines. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. You pocket the worn brown leather journal. She watches by, motionless.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket. It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
Professionalism is his coping mechanism. Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape. Short, wry observations of people and places, probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. Staff issues, always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal. The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it. The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
I don't think she killed the mercenary. It looks like she might have been framed.
This whole thing was a detour, and a fatal one, he thinks. Don't get emotional.
She was in plenty of trouble, even without the murder charge. Still, it's a nasty business. Could have been Titus. Then again... Maybe there's a hardy boy we've yet to meet who acted as his accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling in rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
The plain red tent rests stoically in the corner. Ruby's dead body is wrapped in her sleeping bag.
Ratan! Now is the time! Oh, you will see. Pass the spirits! The blue medicinal spirits! Grab the bottle and uncork it! It is time to unleash the other world! Ratan! Life and death are inseparable! There's a party when you're born, a party every year to celebrate that birth, and a party when you're put in the ground!
Yeah? What's the problem here?
Why shouldn't there be a party when you die? And besides, this isn't even about that! You have no idea what this is about! This is gonna be so off the hook! It's gonna be off all hooks!
The bottle opens with a silent, mysterious hiss. The fumes rising from its mouth are as crisp as the northern winds. Howling somewhere, lashing the boardwalk with brine and rain, an ancient warmth crawls under your skin.
Now, Bratan, take me off! Bratan! Have I ever lied to you? Just take me off!
Your fingers manage to undo the oily knot and the necktie slides off. It looks so frail sitting there in your hand, weighing almost nothing.
Now, put me in the bottle! Trust me! Just trust me! You and I are gonna have so much fun it should be illegal! Just put me in the bottle, Bratan! I'm not gonna let you down! You and I are like the same person!
As the necktie slides into the purifying liquid, large stains of grease rise off from it and float to the surface. There, they quickly dissolve and disappear completely. Cleansed by the blue spirit fire of 98.7% pure alcohol, the fabric looks almost new again. No longer like a disgusting worm of the lower intestine, but like a colorful and deadly poisonous reef snake of the Insulindian Ocean. The necktie floats in the bluish liquid with almost unearthly grace. There is silence. The lieutenant has been observing you quietly all this time.
I've got to ask, what are you doing? Of course it has. And what has the necktie been telling you, if I may ask? Okay, so why did you put it in the bottle? Right, okay. Anyway, I'm glad you told me your necktie has been speaking to you. That must not have been easy.
We're all under stress. This is turning into a great big mess. I'm not judging. Just keep it together.
Let's go.
There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting for? Light up. Re-become yourself. Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop fishes a cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's fire. A primal satisfaction. The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, the safety is always off. Repercussions. There's a high risk of glory with a mild chance, cool genius. Smoking makes you into an intellectual. Everybody knows that. It will help you concentrate a bit. That much is true. It only lets you concentrate because you're in nicotine withdrawal. It only mitigates its own. Blah, blah, blah. Boring. Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. A nostalgia for yourself. The man you were in your youth. Johnny Thundercop is back, and he's chill as balls.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a cigarettes button. Cigarettes gives +1 to intellect skills. Logic, rhetoric, conceptualization, visual calculus, encyclopedia, and drama. This is good before a white check, but damages your health.
Stop, just up ahead. You are prepared. Don't put away your friend, your weapon. It is glowing in your hand, ready to serve. The oily tail end of your necktie-turned fuse glistens in the cool spring light.
Yes, I hear commotion. Let's go.
Good. Be ready to take damage.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right?
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
This is the scab leader. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. His fingers reach for the butt of his sidearm. There's something very wrong with him. Shh.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kipt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Corty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it.
Peaceful.
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible, but you can hear them.
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss something like this? The Mercenary Tribunal. My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene.
He doesn't want to, but he must.
If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
Pig fuck!
Ah, yeah! Welcome to the fucking party. You're probably gonna get killed too. I don't give a shit if you're cops.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, the blue medicinal spirit in your hand seems to have a pulsating glow. It feels enticing somehow.
All right, end game! Light me on fire and throw me in his face!
Even if it comes to a fight, it's a good idea to get under his skin first.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer, Howen Cloven. He doesn't talk much.
All of you cunts inside out. Rip you open.
The gunner, the raddest, the killer. What do you think he does?
There, on the rim of Owen Cloven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 19, 20, 21. About 50 little stick figures, all of them black, plus 2 little white ones in the end.
That's right. Plenty of kips here in Revachol, too.
T, let's fucking do it.
Easy. Easy now.
Yes. So what?
Yeah? So what? You should be drunk too. Or, like, drunker. You don't want to die sober, do you?
All right. Let's do this. Smear your shit all over this fucking dung field.
That didn't work at all. He's more focused now.
Yeah? Who did How fucking convenient. You think I'm fucking stupid, cop? What if I just shot one of your pals here, right now, huh? How about the kid? Tell me, the magic fucking sniper, one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and...
He's gonna do it. He's gonna shoot her. Your mind grinds to a halt. All you can see is the revolver in the man's armored hand, swaying, pointed at her. You move your mouth like a fish gasping for air. He pulls the trigger. A plume of smoke erupts from the muzzle. The shot rings in your ears, a low, tinny ring. Then the Hardy Boys yell something.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Fuck this!
There's a coarse shuffle against something. Is it a gun?
Gene! Cancel Lizzie! Now!
He wants you to open fire on the mercenaries before he does. He's waiting for you and your partner to be the shield. Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his dead friend coming out of your mouth. He has to start it.
Yeah, I don't fucking act so well. Laylee had a hard-on for making faces for you natives. Fucking food aid shit. That shit is done now. Trigger time. Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn this fucking mud hut to the ground.
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor click softly.
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer, we're all sentenced to death by lead. Fuck do you mean, talker?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic, a nice guy to be around.
Yeah, he liked to chat up the natives, share leaflets, squeeze a bit of kit ass here and there. Great fucking idea that turned out to be. If Laylee was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one for show. But me, I'm not a big fan of public affairs, clay monkey. I'll gun every one of you down for what you did.
Ready to open fire, Major. At your command.
Baby blue, yeah. Like someone fucked up and put a baby's eyes on a grown man. It was creepy, but bitches like that shit, I guess. Or, I don't know what bitches like. I just know how to mow down plots. Find his killer. Cop, his killers stand right there, shitting their pants, and you're standing in the way, protecting them.
They didn't...
Shush. Blood's all gone out now. Not long to go till the rattle starts.
This did nothing. You think you were onto something? You just wasted time. Please, act. You throw the bomb and it's way off.
It's a fiasco, Breton!
Even at this distance, you can still make out the ugly tie suspended in blue liquid. It looks extremely worried. Wow, you threw it far. Great throw. Too bad the goal was to throw it a very short distance, and now everyone will die.
What? You were a sad drunk who bought an ugly tie. Who gives a shit? Everyone is going to die because our plan failed. I have no idea how you're going to get out of this. No idea.
Don't thank me. You did this.
What's going to happen now? Everyone's going to die. What do you think's going to happen?
No, it's off. Way off. I told you. The man it was supposed to hit is looking over his shoulder to see where it went. And he can't see it. It's that off.
This is it! I'm gonna hit the ground and burn away now! Most of the people in this yard are gonna die, if not all! Probably you too! It's a complete disaster!
Get ready for a world of pain, man. No, not a disaster. Weave this into the story of you. Walk out of its ruins. Save those who still can be saved. I am on your side. And the lieutenant, too. And the men behind your back, drawing their weapons. You can live. You can get out of this.
I bet you are!
Around you, time starts moving again. The sounds of violence and panic. To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady, but the long barrel of the rifle sways slowly. From the corner of your eye, you see the lieutenant raise his pistol and aim it at Rude. He's trying to find a straight line of sight before the rifleman can take you out. You stare down the barrel of the gun. You see Rude's mask behind it, his eyes in the slit of the helmet, like a camera lens, focusing on you. Is there anything we could use to protect this frail body? That gun will tear us to pieces. He's drunk. Drunk fighters overcorrect. Move right, he aims further right. Get him to overshoot. Just dodge the first shot, and the second will be easier. Drunks are quick to anger and make mistakes. You leap left. A swarm of lead passes mere millimeters from your side, tearing fabric off your coat. Feels like the lightest of tucks. The man tilts his head, trying to see through the clearing smoke for the next shot. Watch out. To your left, DePaul is about to take a shot too, at Kim.
God, please.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. An extremely difficult shot. 2 shots ring at once. One from the lieutenant's pistol, and the other from DePaul's. It's aimed at the lieutenant, but it misses. You hear a scream behind you. Blood gushes from the helmet's eye sockets as Rude staggers back, disoriented. The sounds coming from his helmet are not human. An unbelievable shot from the lieutenant. Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers. Oh God, watch out. You see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised, aiming at your chest, point blank. Then the man squeezes the trigger. A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars. Something in the fear must distort him somehow. He is evil. and the end. Here it comes, death. You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a rag doll. Warm blood pools underneath you. It's sticky, and there's so much of it. Don't go into shock. Hold on. The Hardy Boys are yelling. Someone is running, jumping over you. In the background you hear gunfire shatter glass, and then a man in pain. It's Titus with a splat like meat. You hear bullets rip into him. His voice, still giving orders, grows fainter. A gurgle. He's not gonna make it. Most of what's down there. You can also feel the bone where the bullet went in. Something very sharp, like broken teeth under your fingers. Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows cast by them, like a hellish play.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Yes, keep talking. You hear me? Stay awake.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. And the cold comes over you. The lieutenant, too, is somewhere far away, almost gone, when suddenly you sense something behind him. A shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands. No, you say, and hand out your firearm to him. Your hand trembles and your eyes are full of fear. That's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves like a spring unloaded. He grabs the gun from your bloody hand and fires behind him. You hear a roar of pain, a death scream. The sound disappears like someone pressed stop on the tape. The hulking figure, too, is gone. And so is Kim, and the whole world.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever. Keep falling deeper. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating. He's swelling up instead. Over the hours, hurting, moaning in his sleep, and rotting, and being disinfected, and smelling of drugs, and feeling saliva in his mouth, drifting in painkillers, thrashing in his wound sleep.
He can't go, not before the case is solved. There was a radio in the distance, a radio of the world, playing sounds. Good morning, Elysium. Soon you will return to the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it again. Finally we know what the infernal engine was outside. The clarion call. It was him. He is the infernal engine. He never stops. He only gets worse.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain. It's nothing. You're alive. That's what matters.
Sunrise, Parabellum. You tried to throw an improvised petroleum bomb. It missed. Then you said, "It's a fiasco, Bratan," in a funny voice. A firefight ensued.
The lieutenant does not answer, instead searching his coat pockets for something. A smoke, most likely.
As retaliation, the rifleman tried shooting you. He missed, or you dodged. Then I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. Glenn did not survive. Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo died before they made it to intensive care. Titus died in the hospital yesterday. Alain and the young musician, I forget his name, they are all that's left. Yes. You were bleeding out. I think you said something about your wife, and you warned me. I was able to disarm the Major before he got a jump on me.
Thank you, although...
I was not able to kill him, as I should have. Crenel took him. A stray bullet killed the Pole, though. And that's what happened. Yes. This is the one. He's in a private hospital across the river. Crenel claimed him from the local butcher shop where Titus died. Turns out he's insured.
There is unveiled anger in his voice.
We won't get to him anymore. The good news is he's not coming here either. I did some damage. 6. Glenn, Theo, Shanky, Angus. The fat one, he took a lot of bullets. And Titus. And Elizabeth too. Elizabeth Beaufort was her name. The gardener. No, she bled out before Everard's surgeon could help her. Everard sent his personal doctor, but a costly loss for the Union. She was being trained for leadership. She never had a chance. She should not have been there in the first place. There was no way to convince them.
Stop this line of thought now. You're too broken for ghosts.
All. Yes, officer. 6 people are dead. It's not a success.
+1. Ruby.
But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized. Yet. And we are still alive. Both of us.
His smoking, his hunched back. You have it worse. But he took a real beating. That cigarette has medicinal purposes.
Sunrise Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolutionary saying. Cops like it. The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt, I am relieved to say. I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely. Yes, we have also completely failed, but that's okay. Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day. 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse, and drink water. It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Dramamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears off. Reasonably bad. You were shot in the left quadriceps. That's your thigh. The outer side, thankfully, no major arteries were nicked. The bullet was removed and a bacterial infection treated with mercurochrome. We will see.
If it's possible, then by pure willpower alone, you are going to have to become a psycho-locomotor.
No.
A man and a woman sit in the front seat of an armored motor carriage. The woman is driving. The man lights a cigarette. Jean Vicmer is his name. The asphalt vanishes under the wheels of the machine. Ahead, harbor cranes rise to the sky. Back to that shithole, he says.
I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site. I'm sure they're worried about you. I did. No need. Not very. I have a concussion from the major beating me with the butt of his gun. I tried to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see him coming. Stupid of me. Good. You'll need to be, whatever that is. Easy now.
You can take it. Just don't lean on that leg of yours too heavily.
How are you?
He nods.
I honestly don't know. We can't talk to Everard. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now, and Joyce has left too. Yes, she left yesterday morning, to meet the board of Wild Pines, or that is what I've heard. There's a pin somewhere in the machine that keeps Connell from sending in a death squad. Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone, and Classio too. We really should have arrested her, you know? Oh yes, she left 20 minutes prior to the tribunal showing up. I asked Mr. Gart. Turns out it was a bad idea not to arrest her, but maybe it was a good deed that will pay off in heaven.
Who would have figured?
I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone within the circle is either dead or gone. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. What? Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to catch everything. Absolutely. There's no other way to go about it. We screwed up. I don't know. That's been there for years. Yes, God cursed the footprints, not solving the case for us. Au diable. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else?
See? There's that. You can do ballistics.
It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one. All completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one that makes the bullet useless. We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full of them.
But they seemed so mysterious. There's a little pause. He says nothing as well. He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
It really is very hard.
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
Are you ready to limp? Good. Where do you want to limp to?
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates imperceptibly. A familiar cold, a red thread on the roof upstairs. Taut, plucked like a string by the gust.
Why not? Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't think of anything better.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez. Of course, a radical centrist. In these bright and loud times where 1,000 frequencies drown one another out, sober thinking is a radical act. It's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. Incrementally. Yawn, you'd get there faster with a little speed. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. The kingdom is difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier. Next to the stack of bills, you see a note, a few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting, just as the writer was about to rush out the door. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift? I am not drawing my gun, yet, but I don't like gifts.
Just don't walk into another radio trap, okay? Relax. Not everyone is out to trap you.
It's hardly surprising.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull. The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday. And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? The fuel oil catches fire immediately with an ominous hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. What if the words are not directed at the people of Martinaise, or even the coalition aerostatics above the city? They're meant for something above even those. The lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. Then...
Time to crack this case. Let's really have a close look at that window in Classio's room.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime. The scaffolding around the old monument has been taken down. In its place are the spoils of your investment. Numerous rods and ropes still hold the original reassemblage in place. A mosaic of parking tickets cover the bronze horse and rider. Each one bears the same message from patrolman to culprit. This vehicle's parking permit has expired. Please pay your fines and move along.
Is this a parody? It's not bad. We are lucky to be able to enjoy this.
This is the orderly pattern of duty. A picture of a job well done, over and over. Such busy fingers. Each ticket written by hand, ripped from the pad, then pressed against the metal until stuck. He nods in dutiful agreement, then closes his eyes for half a beat. When he opens them, it's clear he has something to say to you.
Detective, I have a few questions, if you don't mind. About this pursuit of wealth, pursuit of recognition.
He nods, eyes still on the ticket creature above, on the hundreds of parking notes rustling like feathers in the cold air.
Why did you do it?
He nods. The roundabout is quiet, almost eerily so, under the brilliant sunlight. The tickets remain true to their duty. except for a few that have come unstuck, now assigned to brushing dirt from the asphalt below. No, the free market demands something much more PR-friendly than what Idiot Doom Spiral has done here.
And was it all worth it? You managed to get quite a fortune, kicked off by underpaying a young artist.
The lieutenant speaks as if you're rich, a common misconception, especially if you count the tax. No, we've got a long way to go before we can feel financially comfortable. The hustle never stops.
Ah, yes. Spoken like a true businessman. All right, shall we? We still have some things left to do before we can go home. I don't think we have time for that. And even if we did, I doubt he's around anymore. Everyone's left. Sure, whenever you're ready.
The ticket creature towers above, mounted on a horse. Numerous rods and ropes still hold the original reassemblage in place.
Here he is, the man, the reality, the financial czar. You seen it yet? Great! Great. Well, no rush, but it'd be good to know what you make of it when you get a chance. Yeah, 2 secs. Ugh. Right. Let's hear you then. I put a lot of work into that project, Tequila. A lot of work. Had to bring back my hustle game and call in some old partners to pull it off. So come on, tell me what I want to hear. You love it. Shit, Tequila. That's just made my day. Give me more. Give me more. What do you like most about it?
What more could you want? He got your brand out there while giving back to the community. He hit the brief perfectly.
I knew it! That's what you get when you hire me. Customer satisfaction guaranteed. Whoa! Bet you're glad you hired me as your personal brand strategist now. So, what's next, boss? You bet your ass I will. Tequila Sunset is just getting started. No one's ready for the shit we're going to pull. Feels good to be back. Thanks for this, boss. Just what I needed. Is there anything else I can do for you right now?